Eat some spicy noodles with me as I talk about my first week of teaching third grade. So I decided I wanted to do weekly vlogs just to have some memories of some of the great things and some of the not so great things that happened during the week. I always wanted to write a book about it, but I figured, you know what, this is a good start. So this was the first full week of teaching third grade. So these are students are basically second graders right now. So the first 2 days of school, I had the students do tell me something about you worksheet. And the last question on the worksheet was, what's something else, one more thing you want your teacher to know about you? And one of my students wrote, I love praying. I thought that was so nice. And then later in the week, we had chapel. We have chapel once a week where all the students get together, K through 5th grade students, so K through 5th grade. We get together and have chapel. And I have 22 students now, so they were all sitting in their rows, and I'm sitting in the row behind them because that was where there was enough room for me to sit. And one of my students says, "Can you come? Can I sit next to you?" And my first response was no, because sometimes students like to do things they know they can't do because they know they're supposed to be sitting boy, girl, boy, girl. And then I thought about it for a second. I said, you know what? She'll probably remember this for a long time. So then, like a minute later, I told her, yes, you can come on and come back and sit next to me. I thought that was a nice moment as well. And then in class, as I was giving out some directions, I asked this one student to stop talking. I asked him like twice within a minute, really. And I asked him, I said, why are you still talking when I asked you 20 seconds ago to stop? He said, it's because it's important. And I'm thinking to myself, what are these parents teaching their students? Okay, what you have to say is important, but at the same time, you have to be respectful. One of the biggest things with teaching is we would be able to get through lessons, students be able to learn a lot more if the term is redirecting, but it's really raising and training students. And one of the biggest things in teaching is the distractions, talking without raising your hand. And so that's why it's so important to raise your children and teach them to be respectful. And I was telling my mom earlier this week about one student in my class who reminded me of my brother, my older brother, when he was younger. And my mom's like, it's because he's a genius. And I said, oh my goodness, you're so right. That's exactly what it is. And my mom's like, you need to tell him that because she's like, because my third grade teacher told me that. And I remember that still to this day. So I'm going to tell him that this week. And then with second graders, most of them came in always wanting to draw when we finish a lesson. And I'm like, you know what? They're third graders. They can draw when they finish something. When they get into like 5th grade, that's when they can start, practicing more of the studying when you're done. But it's nice to have the artistic side, even though they do have art class. It's so nice to have that artistic side. So when they finish an assignment and I've checked it, I say, okay, yes, you can free draw while we wait for everyone else to be done. So it's like 5 minutes for. And a lot of the students like to give me something that they have drawn. So I have so far, I have a wall with all the things they've drawn this week, and it's probably about 6 things, but I have this empty corkboard on my wall, and then I'm like, you know what? I think I'm going to start using that corkboard for all the things that they give me. And as you can see in that bowl like that, I'm like done. That soup was so spicy. I usually don't eat spicy soup, but I wanted some that day.